Hey, what's up everybody? In this video I just want to essentially go over how I play Diablo, or the most fun that I have when it comes to the different Torment difficulties. Of course, I only play anything below Torment 1. As far as getting a tune-up, once I hit 70, it's just Torment all the way. But really, the only reason why I would play Torment 2 through 6 is either to see where my character's at, or to see if it might be Torment 6 viable. But really, it's not the way that I ever play. I understand that a lot of people, that's what they strive for, that's all they play. But I only see myself doing that if I only played a single tune. And then I've only played it a very specific way, and I cannot do that. I do not have fun doing that. So I know I put up Torment 6 videos, but it's just because I had the gear and it was viable for me to build those builds, but are very time consuming and very you got to do a lot of trial and error to see what works, what doesn't. You give takes for damage versus defense. Yeah, it's just I don't have fun with that. I like to make my character so extremely powerful that maybe with one click I could wipe out a screen. But, and then just have different ways of being able to play. And then, right in the middle of something, I could try something else out. Instead of having, all your elemental damage all the way up. And then guess what? Now you're stuck with one rune. If you change that rune, then now you're no longer tier 6 viable. It's just, I don't get any of that. Of course, I do try and I will post more tier 6 videos, but it's just prepping for tier 6 is more fun than actually playing tier 6. Getting all the gear, farming the gear, annihilating huge groups. I mean, that comes down to the point of what's the best way to farm gear, and it's definitely not tier 6 unless you have the most powerful character ever, because your time to kill would have to be astounding, and then you wouldn't even need the gear. So it doesn't make much sense to me. So tier 1, of course, is the best way to go for farming gear. And then tier 2, if you're at the same time to kill as tier 1, and so on and so forth. But at tier 6, it's just your gear and everything and your survivability have to be so high that there's really no point. So with Torment 1, you could always just try new things, try different things, get, a drop, and then I like trying to max out all my damage stats. It does kind of make you a glass cannon. So even on tier 1, if you have huge damage, you could also have very low health and healing. So you couldn't take it into the higher tiers if you wanted to, maybe 2 or 3, but tier 6 you just get one-shotted. But that's fine, it does put a little bit of a challenge versus some elite mobs in tier 1, even though your damage is huge. You also got to be mindful of where you're standing and whatnot. But just for me, that's the most fun that I have is Torment 1, just flying through everything, seeing what works, what doesn't, what skills that I like. There's a lot of skills that just do not fly on Torment 6 that you just would never even imagine using it. But you can use it on Torment 1, you could try out 6 different skills that are just complete shit on Torment 6, and then on Torment 1 they work fine. That's the way that I play, and I will probably be posting more Torment 1 type builds. And essentially it's not for anything more than just showing what I can, or what I have made through different pieces of gear. And then also I can change anything that I want, and it won't detriment my damage at all. Because that's the biggest problem, is that once you get shoehorned into this very specific build, and then you can't change really anything, maybe very minor changes, or else you lose so much. Then it's just that there's no fun in that for me. So really, Torment 1's the way to go. I did play Diablo 2 for about 12 years. And what I loved about that is that it was always different. Every time you played, it was different. You would try a new set of skills. This is before they actually implemented the skill resets. That was actually kind of strange after, I don't know how long after it came out they implemented that. But before, you could never change your skills. So you were stuck with whatever you put a point into. And that would always make it so that every time you played, you'd try something else, try something new, find new gear, different legend or uniques. And then that's what held me for 12 years. I don't know if Diablo 3 could do that. I will come back to it, but nothing like Diablo 2, along with all the different runes for rune words. They did an excellent job. I don't even think Diablo 3 could ever live up to it, unless they did a huge overhaul of it. But really, and once I got into Hell difficulty on Torment 2, I didn't really care for it, You'd run into a pack of mobs that was just invulnerable to everything that you had. Unless you had a very specific build using all these different types of damage. That was terrible. That was a shitty way to make the hardest difficulty, unless you were running with a group. And you know what? Running with a group really sucks for me. It's just, it's fun from time to time, but I'd rather run solo, just relax, just fart around, cool, and find some legendaries. But what it boils down to is just, I like to have fun and versatility with my game, or else I get bored with it. So that's why I don't use Torment 6. I'll play Torment 6, to see how well it works, try a couple greater riffs at high level. But then I started thinking about what else I could do, what else is out there that I could find, or what stats I could change to get more damage. And none of that really works too well with the higher torments. And in the end, it's just kind of a waste of time. I mean, yeah, if you could do it real fast, you may get higher experience and gold, but in the end, you could get both of those pretty readily, even just playing on Torment 1. I mean, not as fast, but once you hit about 400, it slows down so much. And by then, you got all the stats that you need. So I think, eight paragons away from 400, and that it would be nice to have 600, so I could max out another, 4 stats, but that's so much farming and, grinding that I'd rather just have fun with what I do and, post videos about what I like to do, I don't want to put up anything that has already been done and, what everybody does. Oh, use this build for, and none of my builds have ever been anything but just an experiment and showing what can be done with certain sets of skills and damage types and everything like that. But I want to go back to Torment 1 to show exactly how powerful very random things put together and tested can become. I've got a few things going on right now that I'm excited about, especially with this is pre 2.2. So I've seen some of the skills, the update that they had recently about some of the great skills that they have. And, slight skill changes, and then the legendaries, like whirlwind rings that do huge amounts of damage, pants that give you all the frenzy runes for barbarian. It looks like the witch doctor has some great stuff, especially for armies, and all of that I want to really try and, see how well it works. And then, of course, maybe try higher torments with it if, things jive well together and I see that. Otherwise, I'll just be playing Torment 1, farming everything up, getting everything that I can, because that's the fastest way to get legendaries. Is just as much crap as you could kill at once and as many wreckables and as many chests. While you're in Torment 6, it's going to take much longer, like 1,500% times longer, And so, like I said, I would have to just be using a very specific build to farm Torment 6, when I'd rather just be able to try everything out. Something drops, great, I just throw it on, maybe change one of the stats, and, I could just keep going. Instead of having to redo my entire character and figure everything, screw all that. So that's just my opinion on how I like to play, because I do play all 6 classes and gear them all up. I could make a single viable Torment 6 build and just work on those, but that wouldn't be very exciting for YouTube, and it wouldn't be exciting for me. So that's why, really, I'm going to start trying to get more away from any of the higher torments, unless I run across something, I'll show it. But really, it'll just be more for extremely high damage builds, because right now I think I have a wizard at about 2.5 million sheet damage. He's really only Torment 2, maybe, because he is definitely a glass cannon. That's actually one of his passives. He is fairly weak, I got to watch where I stand, especially with the elites that explode when you kill them. So if I can actually die, but with 2.5 million damage, with no elemental boost at all, that's, with the skills that I have, I wipe shit out real fast. So it was great for farming, and, it's fun to see how much shit can die with 2 clicks or 1 click. Especially with a wizard. Other classes takes a little more, but with a wizard or a witch doctor, you could wipe out entire screens. But anyway, well, that's my, what is it? almost 10-minute video. It'll be about 10-minute video. Anyway, I'm gonna put in some gameplay of just me farting around here for I guess about 10 minutes on Diablo. I guess I'll use my wizard. I'll put that up because I record voiceover before I did the recording of the game, just so to talk about it. But so this is what my 2.5 million wizard is currently at. I'll put up a video about this if you guys want to watch it. If you did watch this entire video, but. Anyway, so that's where I'm at, and I am looking forward to 2.2, and thanks a lot for watching, and make sure to leave your comments below, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate comments over this. Oh, you're a noob. No, I'm not a noob. I could easily rock Torment 6, but I'd be bored with the game within no time at all, and then I'd have to find something else to do, like play, well, pretty much everything else that's out there, but I do really like posting videos about Diablo 3. So anyway, yeah, leave your comments below, and just try to, keep it in line. Don't say 3 words saying, stupid shit, please. Yeah, that's pretty common, though, so I can't exactly not expect that. Alright, have a good one. If you like this or anything else that I have posted, make sure to like and or subscribe to Dread's Escape, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.